Hi class. So today we're going to learn about functions, and this reading is from your guys' textbook. So look at the first page. I noticed a box with some words in it, and I noticed that some of the words are bolded, so that might be important. I noticed that there's more additional resources in our textbook, and I also noticed that this box-like figure right here with some writing around it. At the very bottom, I see some examples for me to do, but I'm not too sure what this lettering means yet. So let's find out. All right, so let's get started. Functions. A relationship between the input values, usually x, and the output values, usually y, is called a function. Okay, so right away I see something I recognize. I recognize x and I recognize y. And it's saying that the inputs are my x's and the outputs are my y's. Okay, so, and it's called a function. So I could put dirty clothes into a washing machine and get out clean clothes. So the dirty clothes would be my inputs or my x's, and the clean clothes would be my outputs or my y's. And in this case, the washing machine would actually be my function. Okay, so it says it's a function if for each input value there is no more than one output value. Okay, so that means if I put one clean shirt in, one dirty shirt in, I'm only going to get one clean shirt out, not more. Okay, so functions can be represented with an illustration of an input-output machine as shown in example 1. Oh, okay, so this box-like figure I see over here is actually a input-output machine. Okay. Okay. The set of all possible inputs of a relation is called the domain, while the set of all possible outputs of a relation is called the range. Domain and range, that's something I recognize. I know that equations have domain and they also have ranges. Domains are all the possible x values I'm allowed to use, and the range is all the possible y values I get after I use my x values. Okay, so I have some additional resources in my textbook. Example 1. Numbers represented by a letter or symbol such as x are input into the function machine labeled f one at a time. Okay, so I know that numbers represented by a letter or symbol are actually called variables. And now I know that I can only insert one number at a time. And now this machine has a name. We're going to call it f. Okay, so, and then the function performs the operation on each input to determine each output, f parentheses x. Okay, so I know an operation means to do something like add or multiply. So the function does something to the input and gives an output. And I see this new way to write an output, f parentheses x. I noticed the f parentheses and the x inside. Okay, so we'll take note of that. Okay, so for example, when x is equal to 3 is put into the function f at the right, the machine multiplies 3 by 2 and adds 1 to get the output, f parentheses x, which is 7. Okay, so that was a lot. So when I plug in 3 into my function, it gets multiplied by 2. So 3 times 2 is 6, and then 1 gets added to that. So 6 plus 1 is 7. So that means when I plug in 3, I'm going to get out 7. And it's saying that my output is 7. Okay. So the notation f parentheses 3 is equal to 7 shows that the function named f connects the input x is equal to 3 with the output 7. Okay, so when I plug in 3, I get out 7, and I see this new notation representing that. I plug in 3, and I get out 7. This also means that 3, 7 lies on the graph of the function. Okay, I know that 3, 7 is a coordinate point, and I remember just like equations, you use coordinate points to plot an equation on an xy plane. So this just means that just like equations, I can graph functions. Okay, so I just finished reading the page and I can kind of see how functions are very similar to equations. They both have an x value, they both have an answer when you plug something in, they both have a domain and range, and they both can be graphed. I kind of want to say they're one and the same, but I wonder if there's any special way to say f parentheses x, if we have a special way to say that, or an easier way to say that. Okay, stay tuned for more. We'll see you guys tomorrow.